Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to make another video. It's been a little while. I'm only taking one class this semester, mostly because it was figure sculpture, and I feel like that was a class I really wanted to just hone in all of my energy and efforts and time into because I had a feeling I was gonna like sculpture. The only other time I did sculpture was 3D design over the summer, which was this was the one behind me. That right there, that was my first sculpture that I've ever done using clay. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I'll go get it. This was the first sculpture I've ever done with clay. This was just over the summer. So it's a transformation where I have a female in the tree pose, and it's transforming into an actual tree. I thought it'd be pretty clever to do that, and this is the base that it's on. It's got like bark on it. It's pretty cool. It is still kind of a work in progress because I only had so much time to do it. I'm pretty happy with how it came out in the final product, but I could definitely do some more work, especially with the human figure. Now that I'm in a figure sculpture class, I could probably do a little bit better on that, but not too shabby. Then I did the portrait, which was, that was the first time I've ever done a portrait in like 3 dimensions. It's definitely humbling sculpture. It's challenging, but in a good way. I had a feeling I would like it mostly because it's just so physical, and it's in 3 dimensions. It's in our reality, so it's like you're really manifesting something that didn't exist before, and it's not an illusion. It's there. And you're moving more. It's a little more labor intensive. It takes a bit more time to do, which I like because it kind of teaches me a lot about patience and just taking my time and kind of just enjoying the journey, enjoying the process of manifesting something. It's also very grounding just because of how physical it is, and like, man, I could just get into a flow state and just sculpt for hours. I think I was working on this one over here for like, I don't know, 7 hours or so. I came home from work and I just sculpted till I think like almost midnight. I just couldn't stop. I love it. I love it so much. I've never sculpted before this past summer. And I gotta say, it's like, I think I like it better than painting. I love drawing. I mean, I'm always going to love drawing. It kind of goes hand in hand with the sculpting. Sculpting is just going to make me a better drawer. And, when I can draw, I can come up with these concepts and ideas that I have. And then I can bring it into the 3rd dimension and create something brand new. It's this one that I'm working on right now. This is it's my homework assignment, and it's supposed to be imaginative. So I don't really have a live model for it, which is what we're working from in class. We have a live model, and then we're sculpting from life. But for this one, it's mostly just imagination. And I did take some reference photos to kind of help for me to visualize the alignment and to have some measurements for the proportion, because this is 3rd scale, and so I can have some numbers. That's another reason why I like sculpture, is because like in the beginning, it's very almost like more left brain, I guess, but there's a lot of planning and a little bit of engineering. I mean, you got to build an armature. So that right there takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of preparing for it. But I think that's why I like it so much, is because it's a process and I can really take my time with it, and it's a project. And so when I'm done with it, I feel so accomplished, like it's there. It's hard. It's a cool feeling. I like it. I like it a lot. So sculpture's been really fun. It's been good for me. I feel like I've always had a hard time with accepting my body and not really giving it the respect it deserved. And I think this is what my teacher was saying today, actually, is, even in art and the culture in our society, the human body is people degrade it, and don't give it the respect it deserves. And like, as it's just a beautiful design. Like, this is the ultimate design. It's part of nature. I mean, nature's design, the patterns in nature are also found in us. And it's beautiful. Human bodies are beautiful. And when we spend our life abusing that, it's just, we forget how important it is to be grateful for it, and to just honor it, because our body is sacred, and it's our temple, and it's the vessel we're living in while we're in this third dimension. And I think it's really important to take care of it. And so it's funny because sculpting is actually helping me stay healthy, and I want to be strong. I want my muscles, as I'm sculpting these muscles, I'm like, man, I should probably do some push-ups, because I feel like I don't feel strong enough. Like, I want to be able to be free to do whatever I need to do, and with independence, and feel strong and sustained and safe and secure in my own body. And so I want to be strong for my health. And I feel like just the whole beauty aspect of it is kind of that's just what it is. Like, that's the byproduct. Like, the human body is beautiful. Male, female, it doesn't matter. And I also think sculpting the human body is helping me change my perspective on even the sexual aspects of the human body, and how we objectify women and men. I mean, it goes both ways. And just seeing the human body as something more sacred, and honor it and give it the respect that it really deserves, because we are beautiful creatures. We are machines, but these are our temples, this is where our soul resides in. It's really important, and I spent most of my life abusing it and not giving it the respect it deserved. For a while, I mean, I was obese. I was putting junk in my body, not caring. I had to remove one of my organs because of it. My spine is all messed up. I mean, I was born with scoliosis, so I've always had back issues, and I've always had a hard time accepting my back because it's not perfect. It's got more curvature, pretty much. I did get the surgery to fix it and get it aligned, so it's better now. I mean, on the inside, my spine is straight. It pushed my ribs out a little bit, though, so I do have a curve, much more of a curve on my right side than on my left side. So I'm asymmetrical, pretty much, and that bothered me my whole life. On top of, being like 235 pounds at age 20, so it was hard. But then I did start realizing that my body is important and I have to take care of it. But then it became about vanity. And so that was another issue I was dealing with. And then my ego was inflated. And so I went through a whole process of that, and developing an eating disorder, and then having to overcome the whole body image issue. And I just didn't give my body respect, and I didn't see its sacredness in it, and I didn't see it as my temple. And so I went like one way, then to the other, and then practicing yoga has been very helpful as well, meditating. But honestly, like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm finally like, I have to make the conscious decisions every single morning to be who I want to be, because otherwise I'm going to fall into my default patterns and my default programming that I was indoctrinated in because of my childhood and how I was brought up and the decisions I was made and my environment around me. And I have to make that conscious decision to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And that means honoring myself, honoring my body, grounding myself, honoring my soul, honoring my vulnerability, honoring me, like my personality, but also not identifying with that, and just being okay with being and not having to be anyone or anything. And so sculpting has been like, just like what I needed in my life. I honestly believe like this is what I need in my life. It's keeps me focused. It's like a meditation when I'm sculpting. I get in that flow state and I'm able to just, time and space doesn't exist. Like I'm just creating, and you know, I put on some awesome music and I go at it for hours. And at the same time, I'm learning about the human body and the anatomy, and it's making me be more conscious of myself and the decisions I'm making. And yeah, it's great. I'm very, very happy with where I am right now. And I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not going to do anything else. I mean, I love drawing like so much. I still want to do some illustration stuff and some digital stuff. I'm going to paint again, I'm sure. But right now I'm kind of in this like full on focus sculpture phase right now, and I'm really liking it, and I'm just going to go with the flow and keep going with it. I know it will lead me to where I need to be, so I'm going to just keep on keeping on. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I mean, I guess I just wanted to express what was going on and share my thoughts and give you a little update. I'm working on a time lapse of this one right here. So this is actually, if you look on my Instagram, I have a drawing of, it's basically kind of like an angel with a mended wing, with some chains around her ankle, and she like broke off the chain. So that's the concept I had in my head that I wanted to do. That definitely has some deep connection to myself and, you know, relating to my life. And so the chain represents basically my own limitations that I created for myself my whole life. And I was, you know, I felt stuck, and I felt victim. I felt like I was in victim phase. And so I wasn't able to be free. I wasn't free from those thought patterns that I kept. It was like a movie reel over and over and over in my life. And so I'd have these experiences in my life, and then I'll have the same thought patterns, and I'll have the same reactions, and then this same thing over and over again until I learned some lessons. I mean, I'm still learning lessons all the time. But I was able to free myself. I broke the chains and freed myself from my own limitations that I'm creating for myself. You know, caring about what other people think of me, caring about, you know, how I sound and how I'm acting, and not loving myself. You know, I just never was able to love and accept myself for who I am, and I never gave myself the respect I deserved as a human being, you know, as an individual. And so when I can love myself fully, I can love others fully. So when I broke that chain, I was able to fix my wings and be free. And so that's kind of, I guess everyone else could probably relate to that as well. I think we can all go through trauma and stress and, you know, downfalls, and that's life. Life can be suffering, and that's how we learn, and we can grow and evolve, and that's life. So stay tuned for the time lapse that I have going on right now. I actually started from from the beginning. So there's the armature. I'm making the armature, and then I'm making all the other stuff, and you'll see. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care.